what's up, everybody? I'm Nick Push, back talking more Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul. Today, I want to rank all 11 seasons of both of these shows together. I wanted to make it 12 because I wanted to split up season 5 of Breaking Bad to 5A and 5B, but I decided just to call it season 5 because that's what it's sold as. And yeah, I am a big fan of this universe, this franchise. These are two of my top 5 favorite shows of all time, and it might even be, top 2 favorite shows of all time. That's how much I love this universe. That being said, some season has to finish number 11, right? It can't all be number 1. So I decided to rank them. And I want you to do me a favor and comment down below either your ranking of the 11 seasons, or just tell me your top season of the 11 seasons, or if you want to do top 3, top 5, that is cool too. I love to hear different people's opinions on this universe. That being said, as well, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. I got a lot of Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul content coming soon, so let's get right into it, guys. Coming in at number 11, I'm not calling this last, I'm just calling it number 11, is gonna be Better Call Saul season 2. Like I said, I can't call this last because there are so many great things in here. You got kind of the beginning of the Jimmy and Chuck feud, which kind of shaped both of these franchises, if you think about it, moving forward. You got Jimmy working at Davis and Maine and all the hijinks that ensue with that. You got Kim, saving herself after Jimmy puts her in the work doghouse. So many good things about this season. The only reason it's last is because there was a little bit of a rehash of season 1 with some of Jimmy's arc, and I think that's just because the writers didn't know what they wanted to do with Jimmy. I think the original plan was he was going to become Saul at the end of season 1, and then the writers, just like us viewers, kind of fell in love with the character of Jimmy McGill. So they had to kind of do a little bit of a soft reset there. Either way, it's in 11th place, but every season of both these shows is either very good to great, and this is no exception. Better Call Saul season 2 is number 11. Coming in at number 10, it's going to be Breaking Bad season 2. What is it about second seasons of these shows? I guess it's the weakest, right? Most other TV shows out there would kill to have a season as good as Breaking Bad season 2 or Better Call Saul season 2. Breaking Bad season 2, starts out hot. It starts out really hot. They are, dealing with Tuco and the ramifications of that. You got Hank coming into his own. It's basically Walt and Jesse, just kind of, they've developed their friendship. Once again, I'm using air quotes, friendship, at this point. It's nice to see them getting along a little more, even though they bicker. Episode of 4 Days Out is a major highlight of not just this season, of the show and this universe in general. It's just not as good, in my opinion, as some of the other seasons. I liked the flash forwards with the 737 down over ABQ. I liked that, but as far as that storyline in general, I thought that was just a little bit too fantastical for me in a series that's kind of grounded somewhat in reality. But yeah, we're introduced to all kinds of different things in this season. Walt, letting Jane die. This is the introduction of Mike at the end. This is the introduction of Gus. This is the introduction of Saul. Jeez, I'm talking myself out of this. This should be ranked number 1. But no, this season is a very, very good season. I just think it doesn't have the stakes of some of the later seasons. Coming in at number 9 is going to be Better Call Saul season 1. Just like with Breaking Bad season 2, this is a very good season that just doesn't have the stakes that we get. Even the smaller stakes that Better Call Saul has, it doesn't have those stakes. But this introduces us to Saul Goodman before he was Saul Goodman. It introduces us to Chuck. It introduces us to Kim and Howard Hamlin and that whole universe that, things seem small, they seem minor, but they all mattered by the end of this show and by the end of Breaking Bad. And this is the season where about halfway through I really fell in love with the character of Jimmy McGill. I was all in on the fucking Sandpiper case. These old senior citizens are being ripped off, and somehow they convinced me to be all in on that. And when we got the turn of Chuck that he was working against Jimmy, and that whole speech and monologue, "You're not a real lawyer." My heart just broke for Jimmy. So Better Call Saul season 1 comes in at number 9. I'm getting to the point where I can't really justify everything here. It's mostly just a love fest, but that's how good both these series are. All right, let's get into number 8. Number 8 is going to be Breaking Bad season 1. Just like Better Call Saul season 1, this introduces us to the universe. The pilot episode of Breaking Bad is one of the most enthralling pilots ever filmed on television. The image right here of Walt standing with the gun, famous image in his underwear, is fantastic. A lot of people say, and I'm with them in this, that the reason the reason they're all in on this show, it was when the body fell through the roof in episode 3? It was either episode 2 or 3. Walt having to kill Crazy 8 and Emilio. All kinds of good things here. The reason it's a little lower is there are some things that just were not as fleshed out as they became later in the series, specifically Jesse Pinkman's character. But either way, what a fantastic first season. Hank was a little bit of a different character as well. But overall, this season just bought you hook, line, and sinker to see what else happened in this show and see Walter White turning from, Mr. Chips to Scarface. So Breaking Bad season 1 comes in at number 8. Coming in at number 7, Better Call Saul season 4. I will say all these seasons from here on out, I said they could go from very good to great. They're all great now. Better Call Saul season 4 deals with the ramification of Chuck's death and how Jimmy handles that and how he handles the suspension from the law and, filming those commercials. You got Mike and Gus here really developing their relationship and seeing how that all works on the cartel side. So many good things in Better Call Saul season 4. And you really just start to see Jimmy slip, pun intended, emotionally, and you can see the seeds starting to be planted to become a scumbag lawyer that he is in Breaking Bad. So Better Call Saul season 4 is a great season, and it's at number 7. Man. All right, number 6. I can't believe this next one's going to be my number 6. It's the final season we got of this universe, and that is Better Call Saul season 6. It pains me that this is not in the top 2. That's how good this fucking universe is. I really, really enjoyed Better Call Saul season 6. It was similar to Breaking Bad season 5, where it was in 2 parts. But the reason I couldn't put it any higher than some of these other seasons is just a little bit. I thought the elaborate schemes with Howard at the beginning really, drug it down just a little bit. But other than that, you had Nacho's demise. Nacho became one of my favorite characters in this universe. You had, like I said, the Jimmy and Kim scheming on Howard, which led to Lalo. Fucking Lalo. What a badass. But Lalo killing Howard. And then you had the time jump after Jimmy leaves Kim. And then even, Nippy and some of the other stuff that people give this season crap for, at the end, when it's in the Gene timeline and Cinnabon and Black and White, I enjoyed that stuff. And my God, did they nail the finale, Saul Gone. When Jimmy takes ownership of everything he's done, including, getting Chuck's insurance rates raised and, ultimately leading to Chuck's suicide, all of that stuff, you really felt it because you really cared for Jimmy. And I know me, just personally speaking, as much as a part of me wanted Saul to keep getting away with it, a bigger part of me wanted him to find redemption. Did he find redemption? That's anyone's guess. Did he deserve redemption? Probably not. But the fact that he took ownership of what he did, just kind of made me say, good for you, Jimmy. It was fantastic. And, Ray Seahorn, was fantastic in the episode Waterworks. So much good stuff here. When Lalo, like I said earlier, when he kills Howard, that is like a fucking horror movie when he walks in the room. Season 6 of Better Call Saul is fantastic, and it's only number 6. Crazy, right? All right, number 5 is going to be Better Call Saul Season 3. Jimmy and Chuck's, feud coming to ahead in this season, and specifically in the episode Chicanery, where we see, Chuck's mental demise on display for everyone. Just fucking fascinating here, what they did with Jimmy and Chuck's feud. And you really feel bad for Chuck, even though he's a fucking prick. And you just see, Jimmy and Kim starting scheming together, all kinds of different things. Better Call Saul season 3, is kind of the finale of the first half of Better Call Saul. You got Mike and Gus coming together here. Mike messing with Hector, and I think this is when the Hector pill swap happened with Nacho. All kinds of good shit. But for me, this is the epitome of Jimmy and Chuck's feud, and it was just fascinating the way it came to a head, the way Chuck stooped down to Jimmy's level, and all kinds of different things. And then you can't out Jimmy, especially when he has Kim by his side, and it led to Chuck's unfortunate demise. So Better Call Saul season 3 is my number 5. Coming in at number 4 is going to be Breaking Bad season 3. Man, this is when the Gus versus Walt and Jesse stuff really started to happen here. There's some stuff at the beginning of this season that's not really enthralling. The aftermath of the plane crash, which I already told you guys, I'm not a huge fan of that storyline. But overall, once it gets to the back half of this season, it is just balls to the fucking wall. Culminating with half measures and full measures. And, those two episodes, are I can't even say two of the greatest, because there's so many good ones here. But back to back, they are just a fantastic way to end the season. When Walt runs over those drug dealers and says, "Run," in the half measures, and then full measures ends with, Walt tricking Mike into telling Jesse to go kill Gale, and the episode just ends, and the season ends with just nothing but a gunshot. Whew. Absolutely incredible. Breaking Bad season 3 is great, and it is number 4. Top 3 people. My number 3 is going to be Better Call Saul season 5. This is my favorite season of Better Call Saul. Like, I just went on and on about season 6, but season 5 is ultimately stronger. This is where Jimmy really, gets his law license back at the end of season 4, and then, he is Saul Goodman now. But he's not the Saul Goodman from Breaking Bad, but he's going as Saul Goodman, and he's getting involved in the criminal underworld, and it eventually leads to him, being a friend of the cartel and Lalo, and Lalo has that great confrontation with him and Kim, where Kim puts him in his place. The Jimmy and Mike episode in the desert might be, if it's not my favorite episode of Better Call Saul, it's definitely top 2 or 3. I've been wanting some more Jimmy and Mike interactions, and this one had them needing each other in the desert. So many good things here. It ends with the shootout at Lalo's compound, and it kind of sows the seeds for the rest of the show in season 6, with Kim, giving the finger guns to pull the prank on Howard. And we know what happened with that. So Better Call Saul season 5 is, in my opinion, the strongest season of Better Call Saul from top to bottom. Number 2 is going to be Breaking Bad season 5, the final season of Breaking Bad. My God, did they nail the ending of this show? This whole season is great. We get, the aftermath of Gus's death and what that means for Walt now being in charge, and him and Mike bickering. Walt, Mike, and Jesse working together was just great at the beginning of this season. Led to a lot of good conflicts and a lot of great scenes. I love that scene, Dead Freight, that whole episode where they rob the train is amazing. Walt, getting involved with Todd and his uncle's band, Jack, of neo-Nazis. It's just fantastic in the first half of the season. And then the second half of the season leads to Hank finding out who Walt is. He finds out that Walt is Heisenberg in Hank fashion by sitting on the toilet. And then that whole cat and mouse game leading to Ozymandias with Hank's death. And Walt, realizing what he's done. He's lost his family, who he claimed he was doing everything for. And then, you get Ozymandias and Jesse, unfortunately. Felina, I meant to say. Where Walt, has to, finish this. And he kind of wraps things up in a little too nice of a bow for me. That's why I couldn't put it at number 1. But Felina is a great ending of this season. It's unfortunate what happened to Jesse at the end, where he was basically a slave to these neo-Nazis. He lost fucking everything. Poor Jesse. But so many good things in this season. I wanted to put it number one, but I couldn't, because number one for me is going to be Breaking Bad Season 4. Might be the most exciting season of television I've ever seen. And I can probably get rid of the might be. It definitely is the most exciting season of television I've ever seen. Everything, from the beginning with Box Cutter, when Gus just fucking cuts Victor's throat. Even Mike is shocked at that. And you get Jesse being brought in a little closer to Mike and Gus. And that whole scene in Salud, where Gus takes down the cartel and Don Eladio. And while this is going on, Walt's going through all kinds of shit. And essentially, Gus fires him, and you get the great episode of Crawl Space, that final scene of, the camera zooming up as Walt is maniacally laughing. It looks like he's in his own grave. And then finally, you get Face Off, where what an ending to an amazing fucking villain, where Walt gets Hector Salamanca, of all people, to help him out in killing Gus, and you get Gus adjusting his tie and then falling over, and then you get that final kick in the ass after you're rooting for Walt this whole episode and this whole show, and you see that plant, Lily in the Valley, and you realize Walt poisoned a child to get what he wanted, and you don't know how to feel at all. Breaking Bad Season 4 is balls to the wall, great episode after great episode after great episode after great episode, and it was so exciting. And, I still get goosebumps thinking of how I felt during some of these episodes. So, that is my ranking of the Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul seasons. Tell me your ranking down below. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time.